good friend, the one, the only, you know her, you love her, Miss Sarah Fraser.
Hi, David Yontef. I love you so much. And all of our fans, we have so many positive fans. I got great messages. You can't quit the podcast with David. We love you two together. All kinds of good stuff.
I told you, between you and Kim, you both had a moment. I talked about it on air with each of you. And yeah, lots of people are saying Sarah can't quit. She was never going to quit. You know how before we move on and talk about some tea that I heard about Brandi and Caroline, you know what it is? This is what I'd say to all of my listeners. Now, this isn't if you're a listener of the Sarah Fraser show, but this is how I see. Here we are, guys. We're together, and I'm like your family. Now we have your cool sister over there. She lives in Los Angeles, California, and your cool sister's name is Sarah Fraser. And she pops by. It's been twice a week, and she talks about all the celebrities she's hanging out with and has just so much to say. And you love your cool sister, Sarah Fraser. Now, once a week, you have your kooky aunt also come over. Her name is Kim D, and she talks in her Jersey accent. She's going to fuck you up, and she talks about the guys and lifestyle. And Kim scares you sometimes when she talks, and she's your kooky aunt. And then your kooky aunt goes home, and your cool sister from LA, Sarah, goes home. And guess what? You're left with me. Now, when you're sick, when you need to be picked up after school, when you're all alone and your boyfriend or girlfriend dumped you and you're curled up in a ball in the corner, when you can't even get out of bed, guess what? I'm your family. I'm the one that's here with you. So listen, we love Sarah. We love her. We love Kim. But you know what, guys? At the end of the day, they all leave. It's just going to be all of you and me. So you might want all these people to stay. I want them to stay. I just think, just like Housewives, nothing lasts forever. But I'm glad that you're not leaving anytime soon. Thank you. You had a breakdown for 2 weeks over your career. January, I wasn't happy in January. That's no shade to you. I did not have a good January either. There's pressure to put numbers on the board when you're an entrepreneur in January 1st, the salary is zero.
A rough month. Yeah, it was a really rough month. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, this is why it's like, it's so interesting, isn't it? Listen, you and I will have to start a mental health podcast in our next lifetime, but we all do these things to ourselves, right? Like nothing was different. My business wasn't in trouble. I mean, no one was knocking on my door. I just was like doing it to myself. You were doing it to yourself. We don't have to solve the world's problems between January 1st and January 31st, do we?
Thank you. No, we do. We need to do a mental health one. You're really good too. I mean, David is a great friend and like visionary. David sees the big picture and can get me out of the weeds because I get very tired and then I'm like, this isn't working. And what are we doing? We're spinning our wheels. And when you're an entrepreneur, unfortunately, you can become obsessed with the numbers. And you're like, if the numbers are down at all, you're like, what's going on? What's wrong? And it's like, you're not every month is going to slay. Like you just got to like get through the month and know what you're doing. So I appreciate that. We're back.
I mean, yes, big picture. Listen, I have no drama in my life. As long as you're healthy, nothing else fucking matters. Nothing. I love money, but health is all that fucking matters. Money does not mean shit when you get a diagnosis and your whole life changes. So I really don't care about anything else. There's nothing. You cannot bring me down. I do not get upset. If friends try to bring me drama, I'm like, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I got to move on, guys. Yeah, no, I mean, I move on very quickly from people that it's actually, I have to check myself and say like, am I a sociopath? Am I this? But I'm not. Has anyone died in your life today? Have you lost any of your senses? Has anyone been diagnosed with anything short of that? I don't want to hear it, guys. I don't want to hear it. Keep your drama to yourself. I will just politely excuse myself. I think these friends of mine in the Hamptons are about to like call me out on some drama because we had like this horrible text exchange the other night when I was at Kim D's fashion show and I was drunk. And I just like, I feel like saying like, if you guys sit me down for some like intervention, I'm out, guys. I'm going to have a summer over here with these other Hamptons friends.
Really? Summer alone.
I just don't do it. Here's what I want to share with you that.
Okay, tell me what's going on.
Well, this is what I heard. Now, I heard this from a really reliable source, and I honestly can't reveal it. It's like the Roni stuff that I knew for weeks and months about the contracts and who wasn't. I was like, I can't reveal this. So when it breaks, I can say whether it's true or not. But I heard from a very reliable source. And when I say reliable source, I mean I heard that. I don't know if we were ever going to hear about it, but I heard Carolyn Manzo is legally going to do something with.
Really?
That is what I heard. Do I know that that's true? No. Is it from a reliable source? Very reliable. Will we ever hear about it? I don't necessarily think so. Not everything is public, right? If you get money, if someone were going to give you money, Sarah, do you need to make that public if they're like, just sign the damn dotted line and just let's say you never sued, right?
Happy to take money and not say a word. I think that would be fine. But I do wonder. Bethenny Frankel put out a video talking about this, of course.
I saw.
Saying, oh, how toxic it is. Again, reminding everyone how toxic the Housewives is. And they make a lot of money, meaning Bravo, off of people's misery. But she alluded in that video to that Carolyn Manzo, did you take it this way, was having a bit of a financial issue through COVID. And she was like, Carolyn was really hit hard during COVID and needed the money. And she was in beautiful Morocco. And I'm like, what are we saying here? Like, are you saying that? Oh my God. Because what is the fabulous banquet hall that Carolyn Manzo and her husband own, and they've owned it for
the Brownstone.
The Brownstone. I took that, maybe I'm reading it completely wrong, that the Brownstone had a very difficult time staying open even through COVID, which isn't shocking because we know for 2 years, basically no weddings, you're not serving dinner, you're not having club events. And that kind of, to me, sounded like Carolyn was back because of the money, back at Bravo, needed the promotion. Am I wrong?
Well, I don't think you're wrong to interpret Miss Frankel's statements as such, because that is what she did. Now, I texted and called my friend Patty Stanga. We all know the millionaire matchmaker who was just on the podcast. So I sent this to her, and I was like, tell me, I don't want to cloud your judgment. You listen to this and you tell me what you think. She had the exact same read as me, where it's like, I don't think Bethenny truly knows Carolyn. I mean, they know each other, but I don't think she's like in her. Carolyn's not calling her up and saying like, oh, we're in trouble. Do I think the Brownstone suffered like every other business? Sure. Sir suffered, and Tom and Vanderpump is standing. I took this whole thing to be Bethenny Frankel. You are the best in the business. And instead of just pleading your case and basically coming to the defense of Caroline, you have to mention your podcast 100 times, which I don't mind because I would do the same thing. And two, can't you just not be shady? I took that as the number one housewife in the history of housewives, according to Bethenny Frankel, is Bethenny Frankel, and that she's now complimenting Carolyn and putting down the housewives, but also putting down Carolyn as well. Exactly. And that's exactly how I think the Brownstone had the same problems that every other business had during COVID. I do not think Carolyn confided in Bethenny between 2020 and 2023, and Bethenny knows anything. I thought that was a total backhanded, like shady glass half full compliment.
I did too. And I thought, ooh,